Hello, everyone. Okay, good. It worked. I set up entirely new Stream Deck stuff, so I want to make sure everything went live properly. Hello, welcome to Virtual HorrorCon 2022, the third year of 3 Days of Terror, which I have screwed up several times trying to promote. I'm like, 3 years of... No, not 3 years. Wait, well, I guess it is 3. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Our opening ceremonies are very impromptu and unofficial. Nick is playing in and producing a game right now, so he is not joining us. Dan will be in later content. Actually, he's also playing in and producing a game over on Carrying Comfort right now. So I have Wes joining us from Carrying Comfort, our partner for Virtual HorrorCon for the second year in a row, kind of the third year. You were very heavily involved. And Ellie, our events manager, also impromptu programming manager, which we haven't really announced officially, but April has a real life with a real job. big adult things to do, and being our programming manager was a little too much on top of that, so she has taken a step back to be our diversity consultant, and Ellie has been helping with programming and if you don't know me by now, good on you, because I'm sorry for those that do. But if you don't, I'm Ian Muller. I'm the founder of Gehenna Gaming. I run the show here. I have been behind the scenes doing production all morning so far, and I am super excited to be talking about what we have here. So without further ado, first of all, Wes, Ellie, thank you for joining for our ceremonies.
Yeehaw.
Of course.
We have raised over almost $700 already today. Between direct donations to the GoFundMe for Don't Be a Monster, as well as start playing virtual games. Okay, rude. We like knowing you. We've raised almost 700, so let's see if we can bump that up a little bit. I'll share the link in a moment. Ellie, you actually recommended Don't Be a Monster for this, so why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about what Don't Be a Monster does?
So, Don't Be a Monster, I got first introduced to when I was a part of Netherworld Haunted House. And just keeping in touch with the Netherworld. Once you're another spawn, you're always another spawn. Netherworld is one of the largest and number one rated, I guess you could say, haunted houses in the country. It's actually, parts of Netherworld are in the movie Zombieland. So it's a huge place, and they have always worked with Don't Be a Monster. It's an anti-bullying campaign, and making kids feel safe to be themselves and get tools to take care of themselves and look out for themselves. And they usually do so by going to schools in full monster regalia, which is amazing. You have this absolutely horrific person, this like giant Krampus, coming in being like, don't be shitty to other kids. But they do such great work, and Don't Be a Monster is wonderful. And the world was a very different place when we were first picking our charity. And I like Don't Be a Monster, so I chose them for this year because I figured also, it's called Don't Be a Monster. That aligns with our horror values over here.
Yeah. I think that it was a good choice. I think they have a really cool mission. I feel like if we had been making the decision on the charity in the last weeks, I would have picked something different, but you know what? We get to them young. They won't be shitty when they enter politics.
There we go. Enthusiastic nodding from
Can't
Wes.
shake my head even. Yeah, enthusiastic nodding. Cannot shake my head any harder.
But yeah, no, it's a good cause. And let's raise a couple thousand for them and see what we can do. I'm excited to watch a bunch of the actual plays coming up. Conventions. Speaking of, let's talk about actual plays. Like did you like that segue? So I'm gonna run through the schedule real quick, but then when I finish, I have a question for both of you, which is, which game are you most excited about?
Oh.
So first of all, earlier today we had They Came from Camp Murder Lake, which is part of the They Came From series from Onyx Path. St. Mormo's home for Wayward Girls, Call of Cthulhu game. We had a Hunter the Reckoning 5th edition game entirely in French, which was very fun. I was running production for that, and someone in the Twitch chat was summarizing everything that was happening in English for me so that I could actually follow along. And it was basically a Resident Evil storyline. It was really going on right now. We have Something Is Wrong Here happening over on Carrying Comfort, as well as the world premiere of the scenario The Bureau from Liminal Horror, which is Liminal Horror is an indie horror game from Goblin Archives, and The Bureau is a new scenario that launched just today for it, and the writer of that scenario is running it for Nick, Emily, and Michelle. Then later tonight we have Monster Hearts, and then the world premiere of the upcoming blockbuster horror TTRPG inspired by Are You Afraid of the Dark? Fear by the Fire. Run by Ellie.
I'm gonna kill you. We are too close in physical proximity for you to pull that shit with me.
Never.
To see a beanbag or something just fly.
A cat.
I have a bag of our game marbles that I will
Please don't
throw
throw
at your head.
Please don't throw those.
Yeah,
okay,
they're made of glass.
So that's for the rest of today. Tomorrow we have the first of two parts of a game called Wickedness, which uses tarot decks instead of dice. We have another Call of Cthulhu game run by the great Rafiki over at Greater Restoration. Then we have another episode of Liminal Horror, also run by Josh. But this is an existing scenario called The Mall, which, Wes, you are in, I believe.
I am. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to play Liminal Horror for a while, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Now we have the first of two series finales of games that have charity games that have been running for long term. We have Return to Mistress Margot's Magical Menagerie, which is a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game that I am in, where I play the gnome gunslinger Doc Corning. Not to be confused with Doc Holliday.
I love that stupid little gnome so much.
I don't know what you're talking about. This will be the finale. It is a level 20 game. My goal is to kill my fave Warlock patron, so we're good. Then we have a game of Trinity Continuum Assassins run by one of the developers on the game, Neil Raymond Price. We have a session of Our Haunt, which looks very interesting. You play ghosts haunting a house.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm interested in checking that one out. And then for the evening, we have a game of Cult Divinity Lost running over on Carrion Comfort, and another series finale, the end of our V5 Viking Age saga. I'm a little sad that it's the end of, but I know
I am sad.
So.
I feel like we're going to wind up doing one shots in the future because we can't stay away. But this is the end of this arc.
Yes, this is the end of this story arc. You don't have to tell a story in order. Norse sagas aren't written in chronological order.
Reading the Edda is if you ever read the Edda,
it's like, wait, why are they talking about something that hasn't? What's going on? Yeah. And then Sunday we have a game of another game of Cult Divinity Lost happening in the morning, which Nick is running. I'm very interested to see what he does with that. He originally pitched it as a Sunday school, but I think it's changed direction since then. And then we have a Regency era Vampire the Masquerade Sabbat game, which is also featuring one of the writers from the official Sabbat book, Khaldun Khalil. That'll be fun. We have part 2 of Wickedness. We have the world premiere of Witch Fated Soul 2E, I believe. It's a new edition of the game Witch Fated Soul coming out, written by one of the game's writers, Steffi Devan. We have a episode of Rise of Nyarlathotep, which is an ongoing series from our friends over at Ballad of the Seven Dice. Hey, I remembered. But they're running it in Mothership. Interesting. Nick is running a very special episode of Alien the RPG, Alien vs. Predator.
Yes.
And then for the last 2 actual plays of our event this year, we have an episode of Don't Rest Your Head, which is a game I've wanted to play for a really long time, so I'm excited to see how that goes. And then one shot of a game called Don't Walk in Winter, which seems interesting. Check that out too. That's what we got.
I am so excited for the game with the tarot cards. Like that just fascinates me completely. I can't wait to see like how that works.
Same. That's going to be pretty cool. I know you're not excited for your games because
Nope.
you're petrified of running fire.
I am, because I've done slight play testing at home, but this is going to be the first like full game, and I'm doing it in front of people.
I told you should have play tested it.
I mean, the mechanics work. It's just like running I've been writing the whole book to the point where running the scenario that I wrote feels like weird and incomplete. So
that's fair. That's fair.
But it's a single D20 system, so it's like the goal is also to show how easy it is to learn on the stream, and God, I hope it is.
Let's hope. Perfect place to play test it though. A convention. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like I feel like it's supposed to be like an easy to pick up prepless game, and like that's hard to gauge when you're talking to TTRPG people all the time who are used to just picking up a system and figuring it out. So like putting it here was a like, okay, to an audience, can this be picked up on? Because, you know, when you're having people in the industry checking the thing that you wrote for the industry, that's completely different than people who play out in the wild.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
But we got our marbles in, and I'll be using these on stream because since it's a single D20 system and it's meant to be played around a campfire, we have an alternate to a D20, which are colored marbles. There are 20 colored marbles in here that relate to the different outcomes that you can have. So I'll be using those instead of a D20.
I love systems that are just like, hey, we've got this alternate thing to the thing. Like we talked about Dread on the panel earlier.
Yeah.
Zeba's bed and breakfast, which is like this one if you have a feather or like buttons or tokens, and I'm just like, this is so fucking cool.
I gotta show these marbles I got because they came out so much more gorgeous than I thought. They're cracked glass. I don't know if you can see. It looks like glitter, but they're cracked glass.
Oh yeah.
I'm super into them. And yeah, they're all colored for like the different outcomes so that you can just like blind pull around a campfire with friends, since it's based on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Amazing.
And then our book release date is apparently when the new season of Are You Afraid of the Dark premieres, and I'm like,
that's perfect. What? Okay, it's serendipitous. There you go.
It really is.
There you go.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the book. I'm not excited for tonight.
For today. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna rock it.
What about you, Wes? What are you most excited for?
Most excited for. So I'm really excited. There's a lot going on. I'm really excited that we have like a lot of indie games and a lot of like indie horror, like actual plays that are happening. Like, yeah, we have Vampire and we've got like, you know, Cult and everything like that. But like we've got Fear by the Fire. We've got 2 different things of liminal horror. We've got Wickedness, that's like a 2-parter that's going to be running that I'm so stoked to see, that we talked about, the tarot game that we talked about. As always, I would be remiss because I always got to show some love to my homie, though. The thing that I'm most excited for is Alien versus Predator. Yeah, with Nick. And Nick is continuing the tradition of running a game set in an IP using the Alien universe after Jurassic Park last year.
Yep.
Which I was a part of, so I'm very stoked to see this. And also the cast for that game is sick.
It's gonna be really cool. Yeah, we haven't released it yet, but we've recorded, and I'm finishing the post-production on an Alien game using existing IP. Very good. Which I will tease. It's Resident Evil.
Yes.
That will air later this month.
Amazing.
But I agree though with you, Wes. Like, I love how many indie games we're featuring, or like, I don't want to say lesser known because like Alien's not lesser known, but to TTRPG people, not that many people play Alien. So I like that we're highlighting stuff. We're kind of going like, okay, cool. We all play D&D and Pathfinder and Vampire.
Yeah.
Look at some other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always been my goal to showcase, you know, lesser known. Don't run a lot of D&D for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, life, there's variety is the spice of life, and you're sitting at a buffet right now, so like, you know, go
exactly.
if there's games that interest you, like if you're looking at the schedule and you're like, that looks interesting, then take the time to go watch it and check out the VODs like when they're available.
Yeah,
afterward.
all the games will be available on VOD. VODs are free to watch.
Mhm.
So make sure you check if you're skipping a game to watch panels. Go watch it later this week. And I guess I should say the one I'm most excited for that I'm not in, because I'm very excited for Vikings. I love playing that game. But I am actually most excited for Lemon. Watch that game and check it out. I'm going to be interviewing the writers for it.
Oh, very cool.
Yep, we're going to sit down and chat about it. Speaking of panels, though, I'm not going to read the panel list because it's much longer than the actual playlist, but what panels are you most excited?
I already did the panel that I was most excited for, and I wasn't excited for it just because I was in it, but the Knife in Our Hands queer horror panel, I was so excited to hear everybody else's take, because almost everyone in the panel I've either never met before or I only very lightly know. Like Raven, we only just started talking like a few months ago, and I didn't know anybody else in that panel other than Wes. So I was so excited to hear from everybody and just like see these new people and get their perspectives and everything.
That was a great one. Wes, you had originally pitched doing a like queer horror panel, and then Alex approached and pitched more or less the same general topic, and I've worked with Alex at PAX Unplugged. I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's get Alex in to moderate something, because he's new to moderating panels.
Yeah.
Wanted to give him a shot, see how it went, and it went really well. That was a great panel.
Absolutely killed it. Kept us on topic, kept us moving and everything like that. We could have rambled for hours.
I mean, as it was told to me shortly after that panel, I now have to give y'all like a 3-hour time block at some point to
do a
run
roundtable
on that topic.
Master
And you know
class
what? Talk about it, because we just got to figure out when everyone's available.
Yeah, I've got a professional crush on everybody. I have to say professional crush because I want to work with every single person at that table.
I think professional crush is a great term for it, because
Yeah.
it's like it's not necessarily romantically. It's like I desperately want to work with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very excited for one that I'm going to be in tomorrow morning, which is the Wheels That Break Us, the dystopic and systemic horror panel. Come check it out. I'm going to be there with Steffi Devon and Etten and Jacqueline Brick. But the one that I'm so excited to see, the one that I've got like really wanted to like check out and everything, and it's a highlight for me every time. Every time it gets brought up, or every time it involves these two, or these people, is Cooking with Magic with Mike and Meredith. Can I just say, anything that happens with Meredith Gerber and fucking Hollywood Mike, I'm here for. I am here for. I love those two.
Mer is such a perfect bean. I love her.
Absolutely.
We're also getting a garden tour here. And confirm.
Oh,
Yeah,
they just got a house. They have a new kitchen. They have a garden to show us. So they're gonna be I'm coordinating the technical part, but like Mare's gonna give us a tour of their garden too.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. I'm so excited for that.
that one's gonna be.
I am.
hell yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Just cheers all around.
For me, honestly, it's the next panel. It's the zombie ballet panel. They reached out early on in planning, and they were like, hey, like, we don't know how we would do this, but we're in. I went, can you show footage and do a Q&A? And they went, yes. And I went, send me videos. Let's figure this out. So that's going to be really fun. I'm super excited for that one.
That it's just so it's really cool to have variety in this thing where you're like, yeah, we're talking about queer horror, we're talking about LARP, we're talking about a cult, but then we're also talking about zombie ballets and cooking and garden tours. Like, we got everything for you, people.
A little bit of everything for the horror fiends.
Exactly.
So this is our third year, and you know, every year running a virtual convention has a lot of hiccups, has a lot of ups and downs. Both been incredibly helpful this year as well as in previous years, getting this up and running around. From sponsorships to the vendors and kind of everything we have going on, what is the most important part of to you?
Oh God.
I can go ahead and say that I think just kind of highlighting what kind of made the first one so special and made it a repeat event is the camaraderie of seeing people interacting in chat during these actual plays and seeing the connection between people. Which is we're seeing a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, no, I've been around your nebulous of the internet, but just never reached out before. And we're seeing them interact on panels, we're seeing them interact in actual plays, we're seeing them interact on the Discord and everything like that. And I think that is like the main, like, being able to provide that networking space and that, like, that kind of connectivity from a convention, but in a very safe and healthy environment of the internet. This corner of the internet, but a very safe and healthy environment. I think that's like that's paramount. That's like it's something that has been able to happen no matter what has gone incredibly right or incredibly wrong. That has been something that has persisted throughout all 3 years so far of virtual, which is fantastic.
Same. That was pretty much what I was gonna say. Like, there's this very special part of it that is bringing all the horror people together that are like the kind of people who want to make horror into a better community and a welcoming community, as opposed to just like, you get a bunch of horror fans together, you're gonna have mixed experiences, shall we say, with that community. But like, this has always created, like, if you want to be good at games, you're welcome here. If you want to, do more horror, you're welcome here. If you love horror, you're welcome here. If you don't love horror, but you want to, and you're curious, this is a good place to start. So I just like that this corner of the internet has made it very, very welcoming for horror.
For me, it's we already touched on it, like showcasing showing people how they're something I just love doing. It games I don't get to play in, like liminal horror, I'm super excited for it. I don't get to play it, I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna learn how to play it. But yeah, but I think that you both also touched on something. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about as we go into this third year of it, which importance of the community and creating safe space of horror gaming, TTRPG. Trying to figure out how to broach this without being super awkward, but like there's been a lot of news about the TTRPG industry recently.
Yeah, there you go.
Everyone here knows I worked on the Red Opera.
Yeah.
I wrote for that book. It kind of sucks that it's dead now, or it should be. But like, I think it's very important that in light of events like that and what's that broke, and in general, it's important to remember there are still good places with this industry. It's Gen Con announced that they're having a they should have added a women's baby steps, I guess.
Yeah.
Things like that. We are creating good spaces within XY. And PAX also, I think the first year they did it was at East, but they're doing a PAX Together thing, which is a inclusivity and diversity movement within PAX itself, and highlighting safe spaces for people within PAX as well. That's really cool. Just shout out to the people who are pushing the and making that in TTRPG and gaming.
Agreed. It's something that the industry definitely needs. The industry slash ecosystem. I really liked how Jax put it. That it is an ecosystem that we live in, and that we work and we move through. Because a lot of people throw around like family, community, that stuff like that. But the best term is ecosystem.
Yeah.
So like having these programs and these kind of these the insight and like the forethought and all this stuff to actually start getting on the ground and doing this work and putting these stuff into place it's so refreshing to see. It's absolutely
So I've been talking a lot. And I'm going to be talking a lot more today as well with production and stuff. So I want to open you a little bit. For Virtual Horror Con, you're both, Wes, you're producing, you're in a couple of games. Ellie, you're some more stuff. What? We started Virtual Horror Con because of the pandemic, as a response to it, and it's certainly evolved since then. But we also are seeing events starting up. What has changed about Virtual Horror that is different? Because you both participated in the first. What has changed over 2 years about it, for better or worse? And this, I won't take this as criticism. I'm just saying, like, the way that we have approached it has been different every year. So I'm curious as to how you feel it's.
I will say, having been as an active participant in a lot of the panels and games in the first year, and then having more of a hands-on approach in the second year with everything that happened with that, and it was the sophomore year, and then having the hands in that I've had with this year, I would say that like. I want to look at this, and this is like, I'm not digging on anything or anything like that. Look at Virtual Horror Con as how it is, as the trajectory of True Detective, the HBO show. The first season was like really, really good, but like it was like, it's very like like blue collar, like it was run and gun guerrilla style. Like the first year, it was very like on the ground. We're just doing this, and we're doing it, and we're calling audibles left and right, and things are happening. And like and like it got a lot of attention because it was like the first horror convention that was online that had a lot of like organization and like kind of movement behind it. And the second year had like its moments and everything like that, but there was a lot of stuff going on. It was the second year, so there was like a lot of trying new stuff, and a lot of it didn't work, and some of it did, and everything like that. And I think this third year it's more honed. I think everything is more honed. I think there's been combination and lessons from the first 2 years that has made this seem like it's been pretty seamless. And like there's been some hiccups where we've had like scheduling getting in the way, or sickness or technical things getting in the way, but immediately being able to get on top of it and take care of it and just make sure that it's happening, that we're still doing, and things of that nature. We're doing it. It's live, just like the third season of True Detective, where there was lessons from the first season and the second season. The only I would say the only downside of that, and the comparison that I cannot make with the third season of True Detective, is that we do not have Mahershala Ali involved at all with Virtual Horror Con. Yeah. But you can't win them all.
One can dream.
One can
dream. Yeah.
There are certainly people I would want involved that aren't, but one day.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been like heavily involved. 'Cause last year I mainly did like some game stuff, some panel stuff. The previous, I think, was the mage game the only thing I did the first time? Yeah, I just did a mage game, and then last year. I thought you were
British.
You thought I was British. And then just did like a couple things last year. So this is my first year like heavily into it.
Yeah.
So I don't have much of a comparison point other than the way that it keeps growing made me want to be involved more. But even then, my involvement is still a little on the outside because we have another very big event that has been my primary focus that I just made calls about today.
Oh, we can talk about that.
We can?
Yeah,
oh, thank God. Thank God.
I made the executive decision we could talk about that because I think it's
thank God,
important
because
people know.
I'm so bad at secrets.
For those of you watching at home,
We have to update the date on the website.
Yeah, we are postponing Camp Gehenna.
Mm-hmm.
We are pushing it back a year, so it'll be in October 2023 instead of 2022. And the two main reasons for that are the pandemic. We decided internally that we don't feel like it's appropriate to host a in-person event at a campground where people who live together are sharing cabins with that.
Yeah.
It's just not. We're not ready. Maybe we're gonna give it another year, and also some of the vendor stuff not coming together. We weren't able to get some of the vendors lined up time that we know we need going in. So we're just gonna give it a
pandemic is affecting the vendors as well,
and
then also some of the stuff we want to do. I am somebody who professionally, if I can't, and this is some real shit, if I can't do it perfect the first time, I don't want to do it.
Same.
So some of the things that I wanted to do was very, very basic, simple stuff, but stuff that I couldn't do it the way I wanted. So I didn't want to do it. For an example, that's a non-spoiler example, because it's a campsite, I am having us rent large golf carts that will be run by my individual staff, and we will have golf carts running to and from the cabins, to the events, to the main building, to the food trucks, to everything. And I have a whole plan for them, and then we called every golf cart place, and they are booked for the next 6 months.
Ooh.
And unfortunately, white people gonna white people. And they love their golf carts.
That's
because I want to make sure to get like a big enough golf cart that if somebody has a mobility device, it will fit on the back of the cart.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that was like a huge sticking point for me, where I was just like, if I can't have my accessibility, fuck it. I don't want to just because I'm disabled. If I have a day where I need to be in a wheelchair, I don't want to be trying to like go across campgrounds. Fuck that. But and the whole place is big and beautiful and wonderful, and there's a charity that we're going to be working with that, because of the pandemic, they have been slammed for wonderful reasons, but they have been slammed. And so the charity itself, they were like, we have too much shit right now. Could you wait? And I was like, I think we're gonna wait, so I will touch base with you again, because I don't want to pick another charity because of spoiler reasons. What we're doing for this charity is very important, so I want to keep doing that. But yeah, it's a summer camp with cabins, and there's so much cool shit that we have planned for it.
It's gonna be awesome. We gotta give it a look.
I think that's smart. I think it's smart because you want it, especially with something like this, especially with news coming out in the TTRPG ecosystem and industry about stuff that has been happening and everything like that. You want to make sure that it's like the first one, it just goes off, so that like the stuff that you got to learn is just like very minor stuff. And also being able to work with that's fucking sick, having accessibility in golf carts and things of that nature, and then also being able to work with this charity and everything like. Because you know what, summer camp is really fucking cool. I love summer camp. And
and I think I can say that I won't say which charity, but I can say vaguely like what we're doing and why. So it's a camp. These are cabins. They are traditional summer camp cabins, and what summer camp cabins don't come with are linens. So sheets, blankets, pillows, pillowcases. Everyone coming to this event. Towels. Everyone coming to this event is going to get a bag of linens for their stuff. For their cabin bed, they'll get their sheets, their blankets, their pillows. And since it's only a 3-day event, at the end of the event, we will be laundering all of the stuff to give to a specific women's shelter in it. That's an what's the word? All over America. National. A national women's charity that provides women escaping situations, whatever they may be, with belongings to start with. So pretty much everyone's going to have their linens for the weekend, and then it's a camp. We don't need them at the end. It makes no sense to throw them away. We want to give them to a charity. And this charity does amazing work getting people set up. And when I told them what we had, they were like, that is kind of a lot. Could we wait a little bit? And we're like, yeah, sure. But that way, you know, and it's not just a women's center. They handle pretty much anyone escaping negative situations to help them get started with a new life. And so I want to continue working with that charity. You know, I don't want to just be like, okay, well then we just won't donate this stuff, or we'll go give it to Goodwill, because I have some opinions on Goodwill.
Ooh, yeah.
It'll all go to a good cause, and it'll be easier for them to deal with it next year, probably.
But I'm so excited for all the stuff that we have planned, because it's going to be part con, part event, part camp.
Horror.
Yeah, part horror light.
And this is cool because now we can tease a bunch of people at PAX Unplugged this year.
Yes. The PAX Unplugged booth is going to have a entire section of it that is themed and dedicated to Camp Gehenna, so that we can show off more of that stuff. Because there is some cool shit. Where all this comes from with me, for those that don't know me, I ran an anime convention for 10 years. I started when I was 14. I was the youngest convention chair in America at that point, and I ran that convention until I was 24. And I miss running conventions so much. Like, I ran a booth for my work at a convention. I've been desperately wanting to get back into working at conventions, but running a big, like, proper anime convention again, no. Oof. I will not go back to that hell.
Oof. And for me, it's I love camping. Everyone knows that. And I ever since like D&D in a castle became a thing, I want an affordable version of this for horrors.
We have another thing like that. Are we allowed to tease that? Am I allowed to say anything?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. How much of it can I say?
Everything but a date.
Okay. So we also yeah. I'm seeing in the chat that convention running itch. Yes. We are going to be doing our own sort of D&D in a castle thing that is called Rollin' on a River, where we are renting a riverboat off the coast of Savannah, where we will do horror gaming on a riverboat at night off Savannah, Georgia.
Nice. Sick.
I got the virtual tour of the riverboat the other day, and
oh my goodness,
it's gonna be so creepy.
I was wondering what you were going to announce. Was it going to be Mage the Ascension at the Magic Castle, or was it going to be vampire at a vegetable section of Avon's, or if it was
I believe we said vampire at a vineyard.
Vampire at a vineyard, yeah.
Hey,
like
there's a vineyard up here in North Georgia.
Yep.
Look.
It's very luxury. But no, Rolling on a River is going to be designed to be a little more financially accessible.
Yeah.
Than other things.
Indian castle or a cruise, yeah.
Because also, thankfully, running events out of Georgia, we get them nice Georgia prices.
Yeah.
Which we pass the savings off to you. Because I can tell you that Camp Gehenna is going to be pricey, but all inclusive.
Yep.
That's a very important thing to bring about. That accessibility is more than having, like ramps at places and things of that nature. Financial accessibility is also a huge thing.
Yes,
so,
it
is. Yeah. That's good insight. That's
good insight. And I can say from the riverboat, from what I'm seeing in the chat, the riverboat does not have sleep rooms, but there are some haunted hotels in Savannah that I'm checking out to see what we can do, because Savannah is a beautifully spooky as hell city.
Yep,
absolutely.
I do not like being in Savannah at night.
Great.
So we do have stuff coming up. We do have a lot of things to tackle this year as well. For those who know, obviously we're gonna have a big presence at PAX Unplugged, as we always do. I'm really excited. Wes, you haven't confirmed with me yet, so I hope.
At PAX Unplugged?
Yeah.
I will be at PAX Unplugged at some shape, form, or capacity. I'll be definitely around the Gehenna Game. Some way, shape, or form.
You'll be in
I was
Philadelphia.
like shape, form, or capacity.
Yeah.
Incorporeal.
Incorporeal.
Okay.
I will be corporeal. This
Astral
event.
projecting
Yeah,
into the booth.
Since I can't make it a Gen Con, I'm deciding to astral project to Gen Con, but I will be corporeal for PAX Unplugged.
We need to get you the thing from Bob's Burgers where it's just an iPad on a little robot so that you can drive around Gen Con.
We could manage that because Ellie and I will be at Gen Con, not with Gehenna, but we'll be there. I am.
We'll
Gehenna
be there
Gaming,
socially.
So we are Gehenna Gaming, so we'll be there. Gehenna will be there in that capacity. We'll be in attendance. And I think that's more or less it for conventions because of pandemic and finances, as to say.
Yeah.
But we're excited for all the other stuff.
Yeah, we got too much big stuff on ATL by night to financially do more conventions.
You got 2 shows happening. You got 2 new shows going on, and the main one.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we just have the werewolf show.
That's right.
Coming up. But we have all these guests coming in for the werewolf show that we're going to be flying in, so that they're all in our studio because we like playing around a table together. And for as much as I can financially do that, I want to keep playing around a table together.
Yeah.
What about you, Wes? Got anything exciting coming up?
Oh yeah, we got some major shifts and changes happening at Carrying Comfort Studios. We already had the rebrand and everything happen like that, and then we tried some new stuff, and some stuff has worked and some stuff hasn't. So we're gonna keep on doing the stuff that works, and then we're gonna stop doing the stuff that doesn't work, and we're gonna try new things. I can announce this. When Nick goes and promotes our new stuff that's going to be showing up, we've got 2 new series that are popping up. You already know about one of them, July 25th. Fables, Once in Future, or not July 25th, July 29th. Fables, Once in Future is going to be premiering on simulcast, Twitch and YouTube, live for both of those. So if you hate Twitch, check out the YouTube. If you hate YouTube, then check out Twitch and vice versa. And we're releasing character art for that. So we hit our Twitch kind of follower goal. So we are 1 subscriber away for Carrying Comfort Studios to get the next character reveal. And then we're going to be doing it like stretch goals.
Wait, on your Twitch?
On my YouTube.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You're like, so you have 3 YouTube accounts?
Yeah, I have 3 YouTube accounts.
So there you go. So yeah, we got that coming up. And then we will have a little teaser coming up, but fantastic. Well, you know what? I get to make a post tonight. I get to make an art post tonight. Amazing. So great. Thank you. But we have a new show coming out that we're going to be casting with collaboration with Critical Failsafe Studios. Xander, Alex, Jordan, the rest of them. They've had a Never Going Home stream happening, as well as The Between on their channel. They have a dedicated community, and they are all very, very talented over there. And Alex, we've been talking about working together, running something, and I was like, you know what? We got some free time. You got some good ideas. Let's give you a carte blanche to kind of run something. So we are going to be running a Tales That Make You Shiver, or Stories That Make You Shiver. So we're going to be doing a Shiver campaign.
Nice.
We're doing an anthology series.
Nice.
And the first one, we're kind of taking some hints from Fear Street, baby, and we're doing summer camp. Our first one's going to be summer camp involved. So we've got a nice teaser that's going to be airing with
We
Nick.
have so much content of summer camps that I feel like it's indicative of like us 90s kids who are like growing up. We're like, man, I don't miss high school. You know what I do miss?
Summer camp. Yep. Because we just finished Sleepaway.
Yep. Sleepaway as well. But yeah, stay tuned for that. There's going to be details. We're going to have a promotional thing that Nick is going to be airing later. And then follow us on Twitter at Carrying Comfort Studios on Twitter. We'll see updates about casting and things of that nature over there. And then we've got 2 one-shots happening. We've got one happening at the end of this month that I'm very excited for. It's called Syndrome. It's a Deviant the Renegade one-shot that we're going to be raising money for the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project.
Nice.
And for the same, supporting the same, we've got another one-shot coming out. And I'm going to have promotional materials for all of this coming out. But in August, we're going to be running a one-shot of Monster Hearts 2, but it's not in a high school or anything this year. I'm calling it Hearts on Fire, and it's set in a firehouse. So it's Monster Hearts set with a firefighter crew on a ladder. And that is going to be very, very, very interesting. It's going to be hot. Yeah. I'm telling you. It's going to be hot.
Oh my god, I love it.
And we've got a bunch of other projects coming out and stuff. And I am actually working, I am finally hitting the ground, and I'm working on my own system for the first time ever. So
very cool.
I'm going to be working on that too. So a lot of great big news.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take too much of our time. I want to air that awesome intro video that Nick made before we bounce out of here, and then we all have to get ready for more content this evening. Yep. The last thing I just want to talk about, thank you everyone for jumping in. Thank you for helping us support Don't Be a Monster this year. Make sure you check out actual plays going on twitch.tv/Gehenna Gaming and twitch.tv/Carrying Comfort Studios. Everything going on here on YouTube. Since you are here watching the panel, you know that there is a Discord server for Virtual HorrorCon, so make sure you check out all the cool stuff going on there. We have exclusive merch this year. It's gorgeous. One of the shirts was designed by one of our vendors, Savage Sparrow. Jen made an awesome shirt that I might make not exclusive because it's too cool to not sell again.
Is it the Final Girl one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really good.
I
It's
love that
really
one
that
so
one
much.
That one might need to come back every year.
Yeah, it's a really cool design. I really like it.
Yeah. So that one will probably be back next year, but I suggest getting it this year too. And then we have we're raffling off a bunch of stuff for charity. So if you go to, I'll drop the link in chat because it's virtualhorrorcon.com, and you can check out the charity raffle that we have. We have a lot of cool stuff from some of our vendors. We're giving away, you donate the dollar amount on the page to the GoFundMe, you can get a founder box from Alchemy RPG. Alchemy RPG is really cool. I'm going to be showcasing the platform tomorrow with them. We're not using it for any of our games, unfortunately, just because we don't have prep time and the system D&D right now.
Just not yet.
But we will soon. We're giving away some D6s from Level Up that were donated by an anonymous donor. We have some hex chests from Elderwood Academy, as well as some of their keychain hex chests. The keychain ones come with mini dice, so if you want those, you only have to donate $8. We're giving away 3 copies of Liminal Horror that comes with the 2 scenarios they're running for Virtual HorrorCon. I'm going to give away 2 t-shirts to anyone who wants one, any design and any size, so just let me know and you'll get that. We are giving away a hardcover copy of Fear by the Fire, this awesome new game that's coming out from some company called Facility Productions. They make a podcast, I hear. You should check that out too.
And it will also come with a set of the marbles.
Yes. And then if you like the Gehenna logo, we're going to give away a bunch of pins too, so keep an eye out for those. That's all I have. So just a reminder, Wes, I don't know which side of me you're on. That side. Wes, founder of Carrying Comfort Studios. Great content over there. Make sure you check them out after VHC as well. Ellie runs ATL by Night, of which I am a cast member. She also is the creator of Blood Crow Stories, which is a podcast that will be coming back sometime in the next 6 months to a year, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
And also the creator of Fear by the Fire, which you can pre-order on their website later.
Yes. The book comes out July 30th. I just haven't opened pre-orders yet because I have to get a P.O. box for that. And we've been so busy with Virtual HorrorCon.
So next week.
Yeah, so next week,
Yep.
pre-orders will be available.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to show that awesome intro video that Nick made us one more time. And then Ellie, will see you later for Fear by the Fire. And Wes and I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Happy VHC.
Bye.